Peace and blessings to the nation of God. God, I am in the house. I'm in the house. Peace and blessings. Normally I go on about 4 o'clock, but I decided to do this early because um, I want people to know that today is a special day for all the great fathers out there. For all the great fathers that's out there, we have been told how bad black melanated people are when it comes to fatherhood. Okay. So today is Father's Day, and I have an open panel. And today I'm going to talk about Aboriginal people on Father's Day. I want to talk about how strong we were as a nation of people on Father's Day. Okay. Not just Father's Day, throughout lives, how brave our indigenous people were, how brave our men were, because we've been painted a certain way. We've been painted a certain way that we are not protectors. And I want you to understand that. So today is an open panel day that I am very excited and very it's let's open it up today. We're opening the lines up. We want to talk about your experiences with a great father. Because we so used to everybody talking about how bad we are. We're so used to doing sunburn, and we got Mac J in the house. We got Hollywood here in the house, and it's a beautiful, beautiful Father's Day. I want you guys to tell me your experiences with a great melanated black man. And because we have been told, and I have been telling you, indigenous people have been told, Johnny in the house, we have been told how bad black people are. We have been told how bad copper melanated people are as fathers. So your experience, it don't have to even be your father. It can be somebody that was around your life, because they have some great stepfathers out there. They have some great stepfathers that have stepped in your life and have made a difference. And rather it's a person that's a coach, rather it's a person that's volunteered in a community. And I want you to understand this, because you have to understand that it doesn't have to be your blood to be great father. To be a great father, it doesn't have anything to be with bloodline, but it has to do with nurturing and loving children, taking the responsibility of a man, being there a protector to the family. For those who know me, I have four beautiful sons. Been married for over 20 years. I have four beautiful sons. And I'm very, very proud. But they have painted a narrative. How you doing, Miss Me? Happy, happy, happy Father's Day to all the strong single mothers. Because being now we do know that a female can't be a mother, but the replacement of just being there, being a great mother and a father. Because they got mothers that can actually be a father. It's not they can't teach male things, but they can actually be there for the child. So I want to know some of the things that when we talk about melanated black people, it has always been painted bad. It's always been painted that the black man has been in jail, that the black man is in non-existent in the life. But let's talk about the guys, the go-getters, the go-getters that are doing righteous things for their people. See, they get very much ignored. They be ignored. And happy Father's Day to your husband, Miss Meat, because your husband made you complete. We have to stop talking about how bad marriage is. Because it didn't work out for you doesn't mean it does not work out for others. Marriage may not be for you because you decided to pick the wrong tree. You decided to pick off the wrong tree. It does not mean that it not possible to get strike one. You rule out the one. Strike two, you go out to the two. It doesn't mean you have to knock every black man, excuse me, every black man for the hurt and the pain that some one person caused you. That one person caused you, you have to feel that way. So today is a great day. It's a great day. We're going to talk about all the great men that were out there and were being men, fathers to their children. And I want you guys to understand that. I want
Hello.
you guys to understand
Sorry.
that only in the so-called African American community, we that we look down. We act like other communities don't have problems with fatherhood. We're not the power with the pen. So when we sit here and look, there are good fathers, great fathers. We don't look at the great fathers out there. We don't talk how great they have great fathers out there. We talk about the bad. There's bad in every community. How you doing, Sister Purple? As
What
usual
are you?
on our great Sunday.
Glad to be here. Thanks. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And to you, Peanut Nola. Good to see you.
Good to see. Yeah, sometimes I show my face, and sometimes I don't. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. You're.
Mm-hmm.
But what I want to ask questions, and today is the experiences in your life. And today we're not going to talk over each other because I want you guys. I know some people have they got cell phone devices and they're coming in late.
Mm.
So we have to be aware that we don't want to overtalk each other. So my sister right here, which is my co-host, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna break it down. I want you to tell about how good these people were in your life.
Awesome. Definitely.
These black men, because I really and the reason why I said this, I wanted to say this about black men, and the reason why I said that is because we have been painted a certain way. We have been painted a certain way. We have been painted as the lowest of the men.
Well, you have
So
to.
I want to hear from others of their experiences. Go ahead.
I didn't mean cut across you. Well, you have to understand why they would want to do that to you. The reason why they're doing that to you is because just like before the Jewish concentration camps and all of that could come into play, they first had to demonize the people to make them less human to those people in order to do what they did to them. So this is This is a lot of the Nazi regime techniques coming into play, because one of the things that the United States did was give immunity to a lot of the people who were tied up into that situation so they could learn how to do what they did. And a lot of that is now being used against us. So that's why that is going on. Plus, if they can, if you remove the black man from the home, you remove the protection. Every race of people, their men have been the protection of that group of people. So if you can, demonize the protectors, you can eliminate them and leave that group of people defenseless. So there's multi-dimensional reasons why the black
So
man,
basically,
along with the black woman, because if you eliminate the black man and the black woman, then you eliminate the black race. You can, that's a successful genocide at that point. So we have to be mindful. And a lot of it is learning our history and knowing who we
so
are and what
I
we've been
want
through.
y'all to say hi. That's my youngest son. He just came in a picture. That's my youngest son. He ran in and he ran out just fast.
Look,
But keep going, sister. Go ahead.
where my daughter does the same thing. She'll be like, "Hi, everybody," and then leave. But I, one of the most amazing things my father gave me was my ability to critically think.
Systematically, I want what I want to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, systematically, we have been told how bad we are. Melanated people have been told how bad we are. We have been painted to be criminals. And when you look at the system in the 1970s, they broke they what they did was they told the so-called African Americans that if you want food stamps, if you want welfare, you have to have the man out your house. Now these are facts and what I'm telling you, and systematically facts. What they did was they told the black man that order to get these funds, that you have to remove yourself out the home, order for the mother to achieve to feed her children. You have to go on welfare. If you're gonna get these government assistance, you have to leave your home. So when the father leaves the home, it's a broken situation. It was the number one agenda to remove a black man out the home. When you see other communities, when you see the other nations, they have a father in their homes. So it goes generations and generations and generations of not having a father in the home. See, we have not known how good it is and how we have not been trained to believe how good it is to have a father in the house because they have been removed from the law. The law has removed us. The law has painted the black man as to be the devil. The law has painted us that way. These demons want to replace the black man and want single mothers. I was a product of a single mother. And I realized the struggles of my mother. She could not relate to me as a man, but she did her damn best. There's nothing greater than the woman. But you have to understand that when you remove the man, you become broken. And I'm talking about a stern man. I was not going to let that generation curse affect me. I have a beautiful wife who stands behind me. When you don't have the two and you break that, we can't mold our kids. We can't mold our kids to learn right from wrong. Because the mother can know things about the female. The female, a mother knows about her daughter. A father knows about his son. I would take a back seat if I had daughters to my wife because only a woman knows her body. You understand what I'm saying? So you have to understand what we're going through systematically. They push us out systematically, money wise. A woman had to do what she had to do. She wanted her children to have, to eat. And they knew what they do. They knew that she had to rely on them. And she kicked her own man out the house.
Well, I can tell you,
Go ahead, sis.
in my mother's situation, my grandmother did not kick my grandfather out of the house. He chose to shack up with his own brother's wife and married her.
Could you come in and come back? Sis, could you come back in and come back out? You're
Sure.
having a bad delay. Sis, you're having a bad delay. And could you come back in and come back out? The link is right there. Just come back in and come back out. For whatever reason, I can't even hear you. You're just like coming in and you're coming out. And this is and shout out to Johnny, shout out to Original Copper Indian, shout out to Hollywood Hair, shout out to Osami, shout out to all you guys. This is a touchy situation today. It's a touchy situation. It is. You can't not be afraid to talk the talk. You cannot be afraid to tell your life because we have been mistreated as men in this nation. How could you be a man of God in this situation that black people have been through? Come back in, Sister Purple. I mean, it is what it is. How could we not be who we supposed to be? We have been basically disrespected as men in our own land. We have been disrespected as men in our own land. And I'm sick and tired of people, portraying black men as failures. There are many men like myself who raise their kids with their wives. There are many men who are raising their children without their wives. Behind every strong woman, there is a strong man. But we have turned away from that agenda. We have turned away from that agenda because we listen to the world. We listen to the world. The world tell us how bad we are. The world say that we are bad men. The blackness on your skin said that you are bad. But they don't give a great message about you. Shout out to the Beam team. They don't talk about the goodness of a black man, the sincerity, the loving part of a black man. His sensitive part, they don't show. They show his masculine part. because they fear the masculine part of a black man. They're afraid of our strength when we put our chest out. They fear us. It's not your fault what you've been born to. You are great just who you are, but you let the devil deem you to be bad. We are the most high chosen people. Indigenous people have always struggled from the top to the bottom because they've made us that way. The original indigenous people were fighters. They were examples to their children. They teach their kids how to fish. They teach their kids how to hunt. The indigenous people told them how to be a warrior. But the modern day indigenous people have been strayed away. The sister right there knows what I'm talking about. I'm
Yep.
going to be quiet, Purple. Go ahead.
Okay. Everything you're basically saying is true, but right now we need to get back to our men being brought back into the home. I was raised with my father. Um, Even though my mother dad left the home, she still had other men in her life to take over that.
Johnny, come to the show, man. Come to the. Uh, I just want to tell Johnny to come. Johnny, I would love you to come on the panel, if you will, sometime. Please come to the panel. I love your words. I love what you're talking about. But I would love for you to come on the panel. This one time. You're always welcome to come, my brother. But go ahead, sis.
But like for example, right now I have a grandson. His father is in his life every day. He plays a part in his child's life. They stay here with us. He he's a very integral part of the family. He helps me with my mother. He's very attentive to my grandson. He's playing his role the best as he can right now because right now, with things that's going on for us, it's we really need him in the home at this point, at this time. Once things get
That's right.
changed
That's
a little
right.
bit, then things can move differently. But he's an integral part. He's My grandson notices everything. So he's just learning from him being around his father. And it's always an amazing thing to me because, like, my daughter didn't have a dad. Well, she had my father as an example, as a male in the home. So even though she didn't have her biological father around, because he couldn't be around because of certain things that was going on with him, I never gave her the impression that her biological father didn't love her. I made sure that she knew that she was loved by not just me, but by her dad too. Because one thing I was not going to do is raise a black woman to hate, a black native woman to hate her black man. That was just not going to be something I did. And it would not have been fair to her father for me to raise her to make her think that he didn't care when he just did the best he could for her in the situation he found himself in. And those things need to be expressed and they need to be explained. And, the demonizing other has to stop because we're, we're trying to raise children.
And turn that on fire.
They should go.
Oh,
We
burn
want
the Gemini.
children with good self esteem that has self love and can love other people, because that's part of being able to have a happy life, is to have self-love for yourself, to have love for other people, your community, and to be able to stand proud, because there's been a lot of negative programming into our kids that they get on a daily basis. And home should be a place where they're actually able to find rest and find peace, because the world is going to do enough to you as it is. The last thing you need is for the place that you call home to be in chaos and turmoil.
Yes, it is.
And that's something that we need to really pay attention to, because one of the beautiful things about what's happening with my household
You know, um,
is that he has,
can you hear me?
what were you saying?
No, I was just agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you on every level, and I think what's lost with us as a nation of people, what's lost is the connection with man and woman,
Yes,
our and man and children. And
because
as for and when I said our nation of people, because it's this is what's going on.
right now in my household, my grandson has the benefit of having his grandmother, his great grandmother, his mother, and his dad all under one roof. So he has multi generations available to him. Like, there's certain things that just naturally occur with children when they're able to interact with multi generations. For example, like when my mother comes and get her water and stuff, he's only one, so he'll go to the ice box with her, and he'll put the ice in the bottle for her. If she's wanting her cane, he'll go and get the cane for her and bring it to her. One day she was in pain, and my grandson, mind you, he's only 1 year old, went and got a chair for her and told her to sit. And he was tending to her. But that's because he's had the benefit of having multi generations care for him. So the same care that was given to him, he's giving back immediately to his family. And that in of itself teaches him about providing and protecting his family. Just for him able to have the benefit of having multi generations in one place for him.
You know, and I tell people, I said when I was doing this panel today, because I wasn't going to come on, and I think about how grateful I am as a father. You know, when I came home, I'm a truck driver, and some men don't have the welcoming that I have. You know, and my wife and I, we train our children, even for Mother's Day for her, how to appreciate things, appreciate your mother, appreciate your father. And these are the things that we have to teach our kids as early. We don't teach our kids about doing things, consciously in their mind without us telling them. And for my son bought me a beautiful ice cream cake. My wife set me up real good, and my kids set me up real good. And it feels good as a black man
Hmm.
to realize that my purpose is not for nothing. That my purpose in life is not for nothing. Now we hear every time us as a black man, we hear how great mothers are.
Well, see, we
But
said
we don't
that
realize the systematic things that happened from the beginning. We don't realize how these black men who were killed. See, this started from the generation of the beginning. How we were controlled as a nation of people. How we were raped as a black man.
Well, one of the most revolutionary things you
And
can do
it goes on and on and on, sis.
exactly is have a black family, which is what's been powerful because, like, I got things for my daughter's boyfriend for Father's Day, and I still got some other things I want to get for him for
Right.
Father. But in my household, Father's Day was just as special as Mother's Day. Like I took my daddy out one year for Father's Day, and I got so tickled because he was like, that wasn't right what you did to me. You took me somewhere, and now I'm so full, I'm miserable. I was like, well, I didn't force you to eat it. No. But she had the benefit of my father, even though her father couldn't be there like he wanted to be. My daughter still had the benefit of my father for quite some bit of time. So she got to see a black man providing, just like even now. My mother is well taken care of because of things that my father set in motion to make sure that even after he was gone, the household could still continue just like he was there. So she doesn't have to stress about money. Of course, my mother had her own finances too, but she's still receiving the money that he had when he was working. And that's because my father set it up that way. So it's a lot of things
You
that
know,
that comes along
the brother George,
with fatherhood.
the brother George Floyd,
Hmm.
the brother George Floyd was a father also.
Yes.
And that's what we don't we fail to realize. The brother George Floyd, the brother that was shot in the back. I can't if you can bring his name up. The young man that was running away, he was a father also, and he's not able to sit here and enjoy this day.
Hmm.
And these are civil rights things that has been going on and on.
But that's why
And
it's
it's great that I can sit here and listen to you as a black woman and listen to you in your life experiences
yeah.
that
Cause
you were surrounded around great men.
oh, I'm sorry for cutting
You
across you.
was you was surrounded around great warriors.
Yes, and I'm also passing those things on
No,
to
good.
to my daughter's boyfriend because he has. I see a lot of my father in him. He wants to know know how what he can do to make sure he's taking care of his family and providing for him because he's a provider. He wants to be a provider. Because he told my daughter when she got pregnant,
Right.
if you choose not to work, he was like, I'll do what I have to do to make sure that I take care of my family. And this is a young man who's 21. So he's playing the role of the strong black man, and it's a powerful thing. So, like right
All
now,
right.
recently got a black business. I'm gonna be working with that soon. I'm still waiting for the stuff to come in for that. But I said, would you be interested in learning how to operate your own business? He said, I have your daughter and my son to take care of. Definitely. He was like, I'm willing to do anything to take care of my family. And this is a man who's only 21 years old. So that beautiful legacy is still being passed on because my father instilled certain things into her. So when she went out and found a black man, she found one that was similar to my dad. So that same desire to provide and protect for and love
Wow.
his family is just as much present with him. And keep in mind, he's only 21 and he has the same thoughts that my father had.
Wow.
So that's powerful for a young family,
You know,
20 and he's
I want to ask Hollywood, could if Hollywood in the house, if Naja in the house, original copper, would you come on to the panel and talk with Sister Purple and myself, you know. Tell me your experiences with your father. We would love for you guys to come on a panel. It's an open panel. Could you guys please come and share your experiences with the great fathers in your life? All right, go ahead, sis.
Because one of the things that I really want to honor and give a lot of props to is to DeMonte Goodwin, which is the father of my grandson, Damari Goodwin, because my mother wants for nothing when he's around. He waits on her hand and foot. If she needs him to go to the store, he'll walk to the store for her. He's like, he'll notice if something that my mother likes is out when he goes to the store, he makes sure he gets it for her. So my grandson is seeing his father value the black women that's around him. He's learning how to treat black women because of how he sees his father treat me, his grandma, his mother. And that's a wonderful thing because one of the things that I found really interesting about DeMonte, DeMonte is that he believes that the black woman is God. That's one of his beliefs. When he thinks of God, he thinks of a black woman being God. And you can see how that belief trickles down into his actions in everyday life with how he treats my mother, how he treats my daughter, and how he treats me. So those same qualities are going to be instilled in my grandson. And I'm very proud to say that my grandson will have those qualities of appreciating and respecting the black woman the way that his father does.
Yeah, you know, the woman is the one who holds the child, but without the man, there ain't no child. And this is not to rain on women or saying things. It takes two, say two vessels to make a
Can't
beautiful
have a family
child.
without the black woman.
And I have to let you.
And what I'm saying is there needs to be respect on both sides. There are a lot of black men out here right now who are not respecting the black woman, which is why they lead them to fend for themselves.
Because they haven't been trained. A lot of these young brothers have been not non trained, and they don't have great as far as people to look up to, great mentors. They don't have a father figure.
Correct.
So if I'm raising my sons, I have to raise a village. And these
Correct.
are things that were going on in the 70s and the 60s. They would raise kids that was not even their own. So if I got a child that is being influenced by my child, you have to understand that you have to teach that child to not be so much in the negative influence. So if they come to your house, you have to teach them the rules. So we have a lot of fault to what's going on because we are afraid to talk to other people's children. We are afraid to, that's not my job. So this is a race of kids who don't have fathers. And this is a generation of curses that are going on and on and on that we're not tackling. These are problems. We're concerned about our own, and we don't give a damn about nobody else but our own. But they will influence your children.
Well,
If
I
what
did
it is, what it is. No matter
decide.
what you teach your kids, how much you raise them, outside will influence your children. So it's up to you to influence the outside.
Oh,
I don't know
but
if that, you know.
because I was the mother who was actually at the school. I didn't wait for somebody else to do it. I was the classroom mother. So I wasn't only concerned about my kids. If I saw I didn't like going on with any other kid in there, I spoke up because I don't play children being bullied by grown ass people. I have always been the mother of everybody, because my nickname used to be Tiffany's mom. But those kids also saw me as their mother.
Right.
So it's all about taking an active role. We can't wait for somebody else to play the role that we should be playing. I played that role because I was doing it for the parents who couldn't be there because they had to work. I was fortunate enough that my main concern was to look after my mother, and that was basically it, and to work on trying to get my own businesses started, which some I've had a lot that didn't do much because there was a lot of things that played into that. However, because of how my father set everything up, I was able to be there for those working parents who could not be there. So when things were going on in the classroom, if I needed to discuss something with another parent, it was like three of us, two were working mothers, and was me. We would sit up there and we would get things done because it was about making sure that not only was my daughter okay, but your son was okay. Because I wasn't going to allow your son to be talked to crazy.
Right. Right.
There.
Right.
And I made sure I made pop up appearances. They didn't know when the hell I was coming. And I came often and stayed there all day because I wanted them to understand that there was somebody there who gave a shit about what happened to the kids in that classroom. So you weren't going to talk to them crazy. And you'd be amazed how much just having a parent sitting in that classroom changes how a teacher interacts with those kids because they know there's somebody there to hold them accountable.
That's right.
And I have always been that way. I've
You
even,
know,
I'm sorry.
I know as being a black man, I know that throughout history and the things that has been told, and we look to CNN and they do their numbers. Are they really correct with the numbers when it comes down to melanated people? And I really think it's a lie because there are great fathers out here. I see it all the time.
Mhm.
And we have these young kids out here that has been do sadly because generational curses have caused a lot of our young people who have been raised by single mothers, and they haven't had the privilege of having a father. So then you have skip generations, and you think about it when we really put our mind to it. You have some kids that comes out the wrong way, and they end up in the wrong direction, is because we give up on them as a nation of people.
Well,
we
see,
we we really care about ourselves. We don't give a damn about nobody else but ourselves. And we have to realize, as indigenous people, that that's all of our sons. It
and
ain't
see,
just a son,
I'm sorry.
that's everybody's son. And that's what we have to understand. That's the message, that we
Mhm.
can't just look to what we got in our household, that we are the sons and the daughters of the world.
Correct. And that's where I got my way of seeing the world from, my perspective from, was from my father. Because my father was the youngest teacher in the city at Hampton City Schools. He was the youngest black teacher that was there, period. My father wasn't okay with
Right,
you going
right,
home, you not having the stuff that you needed for class. My father would actually take his time out and he would go home with his kids, fill out the paperwork they needed to get free lunch because there was a lot of grandparents who were raising their grandchildren who couldn't read. So he would go home with these kids, fill out the paperwork. If they didn't have lunch money, he was giving it to them. So when my father passed in 2008,
right.
the whole school came out for my father because he wasn't just there in the school with them. When they needed somebody to talk to or whatever, my father played that role. He was the one that was going home with these kids, filling out their paperwork, making sure they got their free lunch. And he had a tremendous impact on people. There was, let me tell you, some of his students looked way older than my father did. And he could still tell you their names and who they were. And he would call their name immediately as soon as he saw them, because he valued his community. He was raised by a situation where the whole block would would discipline him. So he still had that in him. So when he was dealing with young black men, there were times I guess I took her when I would call the class on, and I would hear my father say, "Gentlemen, this is not the time nor the place for that." He was always very respectful. He gave respect to those black men in his class, and they in return gave it back to him. But he used to always say, "We need to stop telling everybody that everybody is college bound." He was like, "Everybody isn't meant to go to college. Some people are meant
Right.
to do trades and everything else. And those jobs are just as important as the people who are going to college." Because he was like, "You still gonna need your mechanics, you still gonna need your electricians, you still gonna need all the people who make a household run. The plumbers, the electricians." So my father was never caught up in the college thing. My father said, everybody can't go to college, and he never.
That's nothing. That's not. There's definitely nothing wrong with not being in the college thing. And these are the things that we have to talk about, because you got to remember that our nation of people, and this, you got to understand this. If I'm telling you, and if I'm telling you if I'm from Britain and I'm teaching you my history,
Mm-hmm,
if I'm teaching you everything about me,
mm-hmm,
if I'm European,
mm-hmm.
does that really matter to you?
No.
So everybody is not interpreting school the way you would think. Now we might want our children to go to school to better, because my kid is in college and I got my other one's gonna go in college to advance, to be able to work in civilization, to be able to advance to their life, to get to the highest peak, so they
Yeah,
can
but
have great jobs in America. But it
yeah,
doesn't
but
mean that what they're learning is correct. It doesn't mean what they're learning is correct. It
correct.
doesn't mean that the histories that they're learning is correct.
Yeah, but
And these are the things that I want other people to understand. Some of us are school material, and some of us are not.
and also we need to stop idolizing college,
Peace and blessings, Mr. Dog Fly, brother.
because
Happy Father's Day to you.
the world that required a college degree isn't the same world we live in anymore. You can own your own black business and be successful without going to college.
No,
Also, we need to stop training our kids to be workers and to be business owners, to be entrepreneurs. We got to stop this mentality of promoting the status quo, because our ancestors were business owners. Our ancestors had more black owned banks than the white man.
peace to the God. 777
So, and
is
like my
777 in the house. I just want to say
telling,
that peace to the God is in the house. Sister Cunningham is in the
oh,
house.
hi, peace, but telling people about college and they have no desire to go, that's a waste of time, especially when there's other things that they can be doing. And my father was saying, stop giving people half the story. Tell them their options. because college is not going to be for everybody. And there's a,
Right.
let me tell you, the high school I came out of, there's a man named Garrett. He's a white man, but that's not the point. Before he came out of college, out of high school, he was a millionaire. So this whole
Wow.
about college being the end all be all of things, most people who are millionaires right now are in the same business as Greg Garrett, which is real estate. Those are where a lot of millionaires.
But because of their privilege, but I have to debunk some of the things that you're saying because of their but sis, because of their privilege, and you have to understand what I'm telling you.
And I get that.
When you tell me a white man is a millionaire, when you tell me a white man is a millionaire without education, he has a privilege. He has a privilege, and it's much harder for black men to reach that privilege.
You're missing my point.
You understand what I'm saying? It's much harder.
Nobody is not
You
saying
know,
it.
you fair skinned. You're a fair skinned indigenous person.
They
I'm a
still
fair skinned indigenous person.
manage to own businesses. They still manage to do a lot of stuff.
You
Hard
know,
mean impossible. Our ancestors fought. The world is not going to be fair. Period. That's the reality we're dealing with. But yes, he was privileged, but it also comes down to knowledge. We are able to receive the same real estate knowledge. I'm learning myself about real estate and real estate investments and investing in stocks and
but how
managing.
long that took you to learn it? How long that took you to learn that? How long did it take you to learn that? Because you got to remember, at age 45, I'm 45 years old. The
Um,
knowledge that I'm getting, I should have been learning since I was 13 years old. These
I,
people are installing these things in these people very young. These people have a advantage on us at a very young age. So
but as
they
we
are able
take
to
accountability
get
for
to the next level, and we're gonna be old trying to get that shit. You hear me?
I don't agree with that because my uncle had a business for over 50 years and he looked like a white man, but he had it twice as hard because he was a black man who looked like a white man. And the shit that he went through behind white people were unreal. The conversations he heard about how
So
they
he had it twice as hard. You
in
said
yes,
listen,
he did.
sis, you just said that a light skinned brother. Listen, you just said that a light skinned brother had it twice as hard as a dark skinned brother. You said
You
twice as hard. Is that what you're saying?
in a lot of circles he did
Now you
because
know, come on now. Twice?
yes, because he wasn't black enough for his own people and he wasn't white enough for the white people. There was a lot of racial shit that went.
But he don't have to please his own people. His own people systematically, this and I'm glad you and I we gonna get at it right now. Because his own people don't deal with the money. His own people can't change.
We're
No
not
matter how prejudiced a black person is,
we're not
systematically, they
uh,
cannot stop anything.
to have with you. I'm not accusing the black community. The twice as hard came from the fucking white community. When my uncle was dating his black wife, he was put in jail
Right.
called a nigger lover for her. They want
Woo.
give they gave
Woo.
hell just for simply dating his black wife, his black native wife. Till this day, my uncle will tell you straight out he's a racist because he can't stand white people.
Woo.
So yeah, it was twice as hard because as a dark skinned
Wow.
and walking around with his black wife,
So
he would have had the
I had to
same
get it out you because I want to get it out you. Tell it.
he wouldn't have had the same black issue had he been darker with his black native wife. And there was shit that he had to hear because they
I'm gonna
thought
get
they
it out
were
you.
among their
Get mad, purple.
they thought they were among their own and would say the most racist shit around him, and he would stand up to that shit. So see, the conversations that were being had about his dark
Let me
black
tell you.
people, he was sitting right there and having to fight it head on with a group of white people, knowing that he was looked like them, but nothing else was in common with them. Because he still had my grandmother who looked like a black native woman. And just dealing with his own nieces was a problem.
I told you I was gonna do
So in a lot of respects,
I'm sorry. I got it. Come on, come on. Oh man.
in
I got like another son over here.
Oh yeah, yeah. Me and Big Coach, man.
Anyway, these are.
in a lot of respects, it was
Yeah,
way more dangerous for
I'll try to story you up in the worst way, and the reason
because you weren't gonna let me be calm.
the reason why I
You
did
wanted the
that.
ancestors to come up out of me.
No, I'm not gonna let you be calm because you have to. I want you to I want you to tell the struggles of the light skinned brothers. I want you to tell what these things are going on because what you have to understand that and what I gotta understand is this: there are privilege of for us being light skinned. Remember that
Oh,
me,
it's definitely
I am a brother that comes from Louisiana.
black native.
Okay, so I can use yeah, I can use that from you know use it as an advantage to help our people, and I can also use it to hurt our people.
Yes,
So the
and
things that I want you to understand is this: I use it to advantage to help my people.
that's what
Now
my
I am my last name is Gagne. My last name is Gagne. The French came over,
mm-hmm,
and when the French came down, the French were raping
mm-hmm.
our black women. That made me today. These people that raped our women made me who I am today. Now you have to understand that my original origin, which my mother, okay, my mother was Cherokee, which my father was Chata. So I got a mixed up of all kinds of stuff that's going inside me.
Yeah, because I'm Metapanaki
Then I got a little bit of white
and Chickahominy native.
because the little bit of white is the French Cherokee. But we have to acknowledge the wrongdoings. We have to acknowledge all the things that are going on with our darker brothers.
Oh,
We got to
definitely.
acknowledge what's going on with our darker brothers, why they can't even get to the next level the way they should.
Oh, I totally agree with
I do it all the time. I sit here and I can sit here and tell you, even in a family, sus, even in family, we have racism with black people. Even in our families, we have
that's
racism. We
why
have the dark side and we have the light side. Some of us don't even like the dark side or don't even like the light side. That's
that's
racism
now
with black people.
also because I had a grandmother that if you were too dark, she wouldn't let you in her house. A great great grandmother that did that because she had taken on
Yeah.
views of her oppressor.
With our own people, that's racism in our own families.
Yes, because like the whole when somebody on a panel before it said there's no such thing as light skin privilege, I can disagree with you wholeheartedly because I have interacted with the police, but I never was afraid. I've cussed out police officers, but that's because they
Woo!
enough like them to make them comfortable. Now, when I wore my Harrison braids, it was an entirely different reaction. And that was just with a simple ass
What's
criticism.
going on, man? You trying to put me on the internet. What's going on with you?
I tend to
In a few seconds, what's going on?
What's
No,
that?
no, we're talking about Father's Day. It is what it is.
Oh, okay. It's not few. I mean, it's
So
not
you take
many. It's
over.
only
You take
few.
over.
Oh, why you go? No, no, no. You come on, man. Why you got to do me this, man? Come on, man. Coach Allen, you put me on here. And you the light skinned brother and I'm dark skinned brother, so we're gonna have to do this
yeah,
right, huh?
come on in.
Okay. My somewhat privileged brother.
Come on in.
How you doing, mama?
We not
Hey, you got me on the internet now. I guess we all over the internet now. Got me all weirded out now. Like I button my shirt up. You got me all on the internet, man. What type of games you playing, coach?
but I dated
Yeah.
I was
Hey, it's kind of weird here.
very similar to him. And the way the cops interacted with him versus me was night and day. They kept trying
So,
the white cop kept trying to escalate things with him because he was the scary black man that he was used to seeing. But when he talked to me, it was entirely
that's crazy.
so saying that there's no such thing as light skin privilege is just ridiculous. Because when you look at me, you can see more people who look like
That's very wrong.
look
It's true. They have it.
ridiculous versus my dark skinned black sisters who deserve just as much limelight as I do because I'm sick of seeing my damn self all over the place. I am not the only thing that's considered black. But what they really want to do is they don't want anything to look black. They want everything to look racially ambiguous or exactly like their ass. That's what the problem is. So if you look too quote,
Basically.
unquote, urban or ethnic, which all that shit means is black, then they want to put your ass back in the dark. That's
Much.
where they think you belong. But fuck them and their damn system.
We're in the jail cell.
Yeah, or dead. Ideally, the best type of
You
black
know what? That's crazy because I just had that experience literally yesterday. Going to work, we got pulled over by the police and they only questioned me.
exactly.
That's crazy.
Because see,
And I was with a light skinned dude, look a lot like him.
about
He
earlier,
looks exactly like, almost exactly like
I
him.
was
The good
the
hair
whitest
mixed
thing
up.
in
He
the
came
car.
straight to me.
My daughter is not that much darker than me, but she's darker than me. They dealt with her way differently than they dealt with me because my daughter looks more like a
Right,
more of a black woman. With my little stringy ass hair, I make them
right.
comfortable. Like Paul Mooney said, when your hair is relaxed, white people are relaxed. But
You're
if it's
breaking up. I can't really hear you too well.
to
Can't hear you too well, man. You're breaking up.
accommodate their whiteness, we're dealing with
You might have to speak over.
whiteness
Hmm?
accommodation.
You just got to speak over.
Has been the problem. We have accommodated these motherfuckers for
Right.
so long that they feel entitled to us lessening our blackness to make them more comfortable. And it's causing problems. I wanted to hear from you, so I shut up.
Yeah. And another thing is they're never going to stop being that way with us because we not even courageous with them. I go in your house and slap your girlfriend. You might kill me. The police do it. You gonna let them go home?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I go in your house and I take your dope. The police are. You are gonna come find me. You are gonna find me before the day is over with. The police do it every day. Every day. They do it every day. I robbed you. You're gonna kill me. The police do it to you every day, and you just be glad you're not arrested for it. That's just the name of it. You can't change it. It's just the way it got it culturally set up. Ain't nothing you can really do about it. People fear white police officers more than they fear dudes in the neighborhood with guns in their house and they know they'll kill them. You don't feel like that, coach?
Yeah.
They scared of the white police more than they scared of dudes in the neighborhood who they know can kill people. You know this, man. You know he'll kill you, but you scared of the police, though. I'm not built like that. I don't really fear people, but that's just the facts of the matter. Got you.
The bottom line is what we speaking, and what we have to understand is this. And sis,
Mm-hmm.
and for those who watching, the brother that's in my seat, that's actually one of the kids I coach from Pontchartrain Park. And I want to let you know, man, that um the difference that what we go through as a nation of people, we got to heal through our own communities.
Yes, and we
Our
all
own
deal
communities
with
we have not healed.
our community because a lot of this self-hate that we got
What's up, little dude?
in our community needs to
Hey,
be
you got a
addressed.
deep voice to him? You do? You talking more man than I do. Hey, I thought you was a little dude.
They rapping in the background. They talking. Anyway, he's coming on, and he's gonna tell you his experiences as a father and his experience of him growing up. So I'm gonna let him talk for a couple of minutes and everything. But happy Father's Day to all of you guys.
Yeah, happy Father's Day, everybody.
A notion that not all black men are not involved in the lives of their children. Not all black men are bad people. Not all black men are not out there doing community service. But this is a black man who he has a daughter. He's been doing great with it. But he has something to say. Purple, let him say it.
Got something to say about?
Talk about the Pontchartrain, your upbringing, whatever.
Oh yeah, yeah. If that's the case, you got to get closer to the camera because definitely got to be in this. Yeah, look, there we go. Yeah, yeah. You see that? No more light skin, dark skin. This is a unified thing here. Yeah, you see that. But yeah, this coach here, he seen us growing up. He coached us since we was probably what, 8 years old? 8 years old. About 8, 9 years old. You've been coaching us. We stayed in the real ghetto too. People were scared of coming out with neighborhoods. Yeah, we was like really rough areas. Yeah, he came to everybody's house. He came to everybody's house. He came, brought us to the park, kept us out of trouble. You know, a lot of us ain't had no real father. We was either running the streets or trying to run behind the people running the streets. One or the other. You seen it. You was there. Yeah, police pull you over randomly, just do you whatever. That's how it's the areas of the ghetto. You know, they send the police like that. It seemed like they only send the police like that to the areas where we had out.
Yeah.
Like you get the
Tyler
police,
Lane send the police.
the police that you know gonna beat somebody now. That's the ones you send over there.
Right.
Gonna put him in his division. We ain't gonna let him beat these people up. We ain't gonna have to let them kill each other. We help. Yeah, you know, God the only judge. They just pushed the appointment for us. You know how that goes. Yeah, But anyways, back to the areas we grew up in, the things that we seen most people didn't see, and he got to see it because you was amongst us. Because honestly, if you wasn't around us, you wouldn't even experience that. Because they would address you much differently than they would address me, especially when you was younger. Because you was even brighter. You got darker as you got older. You don't think so?
Yeah, I think as I got older, I got darker.
You got a lot dark, man. He used to look like The Rock. We used to call him The Rock. You remember that? When you had the flat top with the curls on the top? So you don't remember your little Hawaiian curls on the top?
Whatever, boy.
Yeah, he had the little curls on the top. So we called him The Rock. He used to look like The Rock. He was just in it. That's what we called you. So people presented themselves differently to him. But he was in the ghetto with us. So he got to experience the hardships of how it feels to be around people like, really, brothers, that's dog too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been seeing it, but you came with us, so you got to see it in different generations.
My brother is his color.
Yes.
I have a brother. We like chocolate and vanilla. You know what I'm saying?
Salt and pepper.
Yeah.
It's the little.
You salt and pepper. Oh man. It's a what?
She said the dark rock.
My sister is a little bit like.
Yeah, she said I'm darker than the rock. I'm the dark rock. I guess what she said.
Yeah, she said.
The rock. Okay. Yeah.
No. He doesn't look like the Rock anymore.
No. That was back in the day.
I'm gonna have to find out who you look like now. But yeah, he used to look like the Rock back in the day. He was a lot lighter. He like a real Hispanic dude back in the day. I don't know what happened to him now. You need to put some more coconut oil on.
Came to my color, man.
Yeah, you came back. The older you got, your black genetics and Native American genetics kicked in. Because you were real bright. I thought you was Spanish growing up. I didn't even think you was black. I thought Coach Jerry was Spanish. Yeah. I really thought you was a Lucha Libre. I didn't really know what you was. I'm serious. You think I'm joking, huh?
Yeah, whatever. Look, I was never Spanish. Whatever the hell he talking. It is what it is.
No, he wasn't. He just was real light skinned with good hair. That's all it was.
Right.
Yeah.
His consideration of good hair, good, whatever. But anyway,
Curly hair.
back
My hair is better.
back to what we're speaking. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. finish.
Now I want y'all to understand this brother here just almost lost his life. Almost speaking.
Oh, you talking about getting shot?
Yeah.
Man, everybody keep wanting me to talk about getting
Tell a
shot.
story to the folks.
Hey, I guess pretty much a bad situation with somebody. Got shot saving people, and the same people left me in the hospital. So that was
And he overcame that. And
You're
the bottom
supposed to.
line,
I see. That's the thing about me. I don't see it as when something happened, it just happened. You're supposed to shake back. That's how I
Right.
see it. You're not supposed to just get hit and stay down, right? That's why it's called rounds in a fight. Like it's called rounds. You don't just get knocked down and stay there, huh? No, I ain't built like that. I'm all right.
but those who don't know, like I said, I coached for many years in New Orleans, Louisiana,
Mhm.
and the funny thing is, people did not understand that the diversity in Louisiana. We have chocolate and vanilla. We got everything in Louisiana.
Yeah,
Cajun people, whatever it is, you there. We acknowledge you or who you is. We didn't give a damn about a color, whoever you was. That's who we acknowledge you are. You know what I'm saying? So we stand by who that was. The bottom line is my little brother right here was a young man that his brother, I coached his brother and I coached him, and these young men, we walked. Sometimes we ain't had bus fare. We walked to practice.
Mm.
And we walked for many miles. And I was a product of trying to help my community, not hurt my community. And I was a much younger man during them times. Yeah, I was a kid. I was a kid doing this at 17 years old, walking the street, 18 years old, trying to help other kids. And these are the things that we need to understand as Black men. What are you doing in your community to help kids become somebody? What are you doing to help the nation? Are you talking or are you walking? Are you talking or are you walking? Because that's what we do. We want to get on social media. We want views, but what are you doing? Now he happened to be the product of what of I'm just happy to be to show him because he has his own success. And I tell you this, that life is short. No matter what you go through, stand behind your people. Stand behind your people because I stand behind mine. I stand behind my people. I have before I had children, I had him. I had his brother. And then when I had my kids, I was in, and my wife, I had a wife that was accepting to the outside kids. They would come over. My wife would be like, "Oh Lord, who this next child in here?" And she like, they playing video games.
Yep.
You got to have two. It don't take one. It takes two. See, if you on one way and then your wife on the other way, then you ain't gonna be on the same page. You're not gonna be on the same page in anything you do, Mac J in the house. In anything that you do, you have to be who you are, real. That's like when I got pissed off the other day with Nature Boy, with the bullshit.
Weird.
I got pissed off with Nature Boy because Nature Boy, you talk this shit, you talk all that talk, but you don't walk the walk. You are manipulating young people. And that's why I created the Ramp Purple. That's why I was so upset when I was doing what I was doing. Because I was so upset the way he was as a man, how he's telling young people don't take their medicines. How he's telling young people that if they are going through, that the system is doing this and doing that. What are you doing to help the young man? Personally. And everything that he does runs through sex.
Well,
Everything that he does.
with him is that I didn't appreciate the fact that he takes things from different cultures, have no ideas, the significance, the meanings, or the sacrifices behind the things he's stealing, and he promotes ignorance. He's the Pied Piper of ignorance. because like for example, with
Yes,
my
he's ruining us, indigenous people. He's ruining us in indigenous people. He's giving us a bad name. He wants to be a fucking chief. He wants to be a chief. Wear our hat. Put all that damn costume on. But yet, he don't even know what a chief means.
he
He don't
doesn't.
even know what a chief means.
First of
He
all,
don't understand what that has to do
if
within
he
the community.
understood Native American society, he wouldn't want nothing to do with it no way, because that tends to be a very matriarchal society. There's a lot of weight that
Mhm.
the matriarchs in Native American society holds. So that would definitely not be in his wheelhouse at all. The women are
No,
respected
no,
the way he treats his women. That would never happen in a Native American society. And the deviant sexual nature that he has, there's a lot of Native American tribes that would have cut his crap off, stuck it in his mouth, and let him bleed out. That's not a game you want to play.
right? And I saw how he was talking to the Hawaiian people are not as racist. For those who believe that these Hawaiians, they do have Hawaii, they have racist people in Hawaii, just like they got racist people in America. But not all the tribes in Hawaii are racist. Okay, so get off that crap. They didn't want this man who they saw online. They saw him online talking shit. They didn't want this man in their land. That's just the bottom line. Stop making
It
it
never
about
had
race. The
anything to do
bottom
with race.
line is
Nobody,
many people went to Hawaii. Black is black, has been visiting Hawaii for centuries. You got your ass kicked out because your ass is nasty ass.
nobody in the right
It
mind
is what it is.
being living next to them. Point blank. Period.
People want to give it still want to feel compassion, want to be upset because Nature Boy was called a nigger. We all been called a nigger. God damn it. I want to hear no because he worrying about Nature Boy. Nature Boy has been also damaging our young people in our country. He
But
has been
like,
doing so much of he's a slave. He's a slave master right now.
but it's like
He's
Malcolm
a
X
slave
said,
master.
that was just Nature Boy's energy coming home to roost. You can't do dirt all the time and expect not to have any get on you. Eventually, all that negative shit that you put out there is going to find its way back to you. And it's going to come back way worse than what you gave out. He
That's
paid
right.
he paid the price for the behavior he chose to put online, for the behavior he is constantly choosing to engage in. This has nothing to do with somebody's race. This has to do with being accountable for your actions. Like I often said, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should do it. And he has
That's right.
never been held.
That's right. And because people are waking up, that the thing is because we people are waking up to the foolishness and because people are exposing him on the shit that he's talking about, leave. You remember, he the one told the young lady that that their family is Babylon. That's not your Babylon mother is no longer your mother. So when the young lady goes and she leaves and kills her mother like she did, that is a mental fucking abuse. That's telling this young man lady, you got the right to kill this woman. She has never been your mother.
But
It's brainwash. You can brain when you can tell somebody to go against their family, it's brainwash.
well, he's
Their family.
what people don't understand. Nature Boy uses MK Ultra on those people. The starvation, the being the being up for long hours, having to listen to him talk for hours after hour, all of that is part of the MK Ultra programming. It's not done by accident, it's done by design. Because if I bore your brain to death, eventually your conscious mind is going to check out. And the only thing that's left then is the subconscious. And the subconscious is not going to debate what's being put in there. The whole purpose of your conscious mind is to be the gatekeeper. Once the gatekeeper is taken out of the way, it's a free for all. So I can tell you some insane shit, and it will go right into your subconscious mind, and you'll absolutely believe it. Because once you get past the conscious mind, the subconscious is wide open. And he purposely
That's
does.
right.
That's the whole purpose of those long ass lectures about bullshit and keeping them up for days at a time. Because once you've been up for days at a time, your conscious mind will do its best to go to sleep. So at that point, again, the only thing that's left open is the subconscious, which absorbs everything and questions nothing. And he
Wow.
does that on purpose.
And I
That's
sit here and I watch world news. I watch world news dissect this guy like 24/7. For those who follow world news, who not follow world news, please subscribe to the brother page because world news is the best news out there. World news is the best news. And for those who get mad with me for saying that and want to unsubscribe from me, go to hell. Because I look at it what it is. I said what I said, what I say. Go to hell. Because I'm not gonna sit here and kiss ass to shit that I don't see was right. This man has been on several people's neck that has been doing fucked up shit. And yet we sit here and act like it's not going on.
I
We
have
want to be compassionate and sorry and feel bad because of Nature Boy.
I use him as an
You
educator.
want to feel bad because Nature Boy. Man, whatever. He got these young people, 22 years old.
He
Go
is
ahead, sis.
actively using MK Ultra programming against some people. The starvation, all of that is a part of that programming. Because the whole thing is to get you so weakened to the point that you're just mentally wide open for everything. And that you'll do whatever the handler wants you to do without question. And they do. Just like when he told them to
That's
shut
right.
up the chat, they shut the hell up. Because part of that programming is to use trauma to get the people to be so broken down that you're basically breaking their spirit so you can build them into the image that you want to build them into. And that's exactly what he's done.
Well, I can sit here and talk about Father's Day. Nature Boy, what the fuck you done as a father? Come on, Nature Boy. What the hell have you done as a father? Let's talk about you, Nature Boy. Because if you listening to me and you want to come on this panel, let me tell you one goddamn thing. Name me 5 things have you done as a father. As a father, that you get on your panel, you know how to make it. You know how to make it. You're a good baby maker. It's good. It's good having sex. But who are you as a father? What are you doing to build your nation? Because you said that you are multiplying to put your seed somewhere. But God damn it, where are you doing with your seeds? Because them seeds are all over the place. They're all over the place. You got them all in the States, in Babylon. They're in Babylon. And I find that crazy that you got these people so manipulated and so dumbfounded on this shit. They're in Babylon. They're not at that day where you have been. I'm sorry. I'm not about tearing black men, real black men down. Because this don't come
It
no
goes,
melanated. This is melanated right here.
but it goes back to
And at the end of the day, he takes care of his daughter.
what the black author.
I'm about to end this live. I'm about to end this live because I got some things I have to do.
Okay,
But you got the last word.
but it goes back
You
to
got the last word.
what that black
Like
author
he ain't
said.
been in the house.
Got to start.
No, you got the last word.
the black
Oh, it's a new video game.
from the black
Yeah.
because they aren't one thing.
Oh shit. Put down Tecmo Bowl and went live.
Separate black men and
Boys in
black-
the world, out in the
we have to have
Yeah,
He
that's
put
what I
down.
told her to say. You done came here.
because
Yeah.
it's extremely important
Let us see her laugh.
that we undo what the white man has done. I
Uh,
a
it was
black
great.
or a black
All over.
and all come along with
Coach said this is- I'm so proud of you. Yeah. Don't tap dancing on Birmingham. There you go.
I can't hear you, sis.
Oh, you couldn't hear what I
It's
said.
black time. Oh, now I can hear you. Go ahead. Give it.
Okay.
Give something. Give something to the people. I want you to give a message to all the fathers out there from a female's perspective. I want you to give one thing that you can encourage us to move on. One thing, because we've been dying. Everybody knows that we've been dying. A motherfucker been putting a knee on our neck. Our lives have been in danger. What could you give us in these last days?
Okay. What I would say to the black men, distinguish yourselves from the black males. We need to have accountability, which means that the black men need to be G-checking these black males because black men and black males aren't the same thing. And like the author of the book that was speaking on that subject, he was saying that everybody shouldn't be called a man when they're not. There's a difference between being a man and being a male. And we need to distinguish that because I love my black men. I
That's
absolutely
right.
for you. But I also wanted known the difference between the black man, like the one living in my house taking care of his child, versus the black male who's out here, the nature boys of the world, aka the fuck boys, who are creating these kids and have no accountability whatsoever to themselves or to anybody else. That's it.
That was
And doesn't need to
the
just be
new day.
with
Yeah.
black
I
men,
woke up a different thing.
black women too. We all
I
the
need
black
you to understand
fuck
that. Keep living over here.
because there are too many wonderful black men
They show you.
who are on their grind doing what they need to do for their families. And they don't deserve to be lumped in the same category with fuck boys, the black males. And we
Right.
make sure that we're distinguishing between the two. Because saying all black men about black males needs to be distinguished. Stop saying black men when you're talking about black males, aka the fuck boys of the world.
Copper. Let me stop.
So
Because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as black. There's no such thing as white. There's no
or
such thing.
for that.
So I'm just talking shit. You know, people know identify as being black because the white man told them they were black. We identify with telling them that they're white because the white man told us they were white. They have the power of the pen, and they have been able to tell us in reverse shit for many years.
Yeah.
It is very time for us to start laboring and doing our own narratives and things.
Yeah.
And understanding that laboring people is another way of white supremacy.
Yeah, definitely. We got to have our own language. We got to decide on how we're going to speak, what we're going to say, and the significance behind it. Because one of the most powerful things you can do is develop your own way of speaking.
That's right.
So all of that is extremely important, but that all goes back to developing our Black culture more fully than what it is right now.
But thank you, everybody. I would like to say thank you, Purple Lover. That's how we pronounce it. I always call you Purple. Purple Lover.
Purple Lover, because it was for the VA.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Chief this Purple Lover, which is my co-host every Sunday. We are always on it, huh, Chick? So you tell the nation that we're gonna be bringing in the Hawaiian 504. She said she's gonna bring in the Hawaiian people from Hawaii to the indigenous Hawaii to build a bridge with us. So could you tell everybody, are they welcome to that? Because I think that's great. I think that we can build with other indigenous people,
Oh, well,
and I think that is great. That's what it's all about.
because we have more coming.
And she has that in the work for us.
Yes, I'm going to try to reach out to some of our Hawaiian indigenous and have them come and build with us. So
Okay. So I'm about to sign out. This is Father's Day, and I got a lot of people that love me and gonna knock me in my head because I'm on live all day long, and I supposed to be celebrating my day. So I'm about to get out.
yeah,
I'm about to get out because I'm being threatened right now, and I want y'all to know you heard me. I'm being threatened, and I love my people because they love me too. Peace and blessings. Please be here. I'm gonna be always welcome to you guys every Sunday
have
in
a
the house. Indigenous people rise up. Follow Purple Love. I want you guys to follow her channel because she is my co-host and she has been holding it down for the longest. And it is what it is. You heard me. We're out of here.
bye, y'all. Have a happy Father's Day.